Today I'm actually doing these both in the same sitting. I like literally just haven't even, the camera's still rolling, man. We're just going straight at this one with track number 8, Shelf Life. Are you bringing the vibes? I hear vibes happening. I like the drums, I gotta say. I thought, okay, yeah, this is Kurt Travis doing the vocals here. Who the fuck is Kurt Travis? Who are you? Kurt Travis is from a rock band called Royal Coda. I have no idea what Royal Coda is. I feel like I should know the name Kurt Travis, though. So, that's something. Was he in something before this? I swear I know that name, man. Oh, was he just the old vocalist? Yeah, I can totally see where this comes in, too, because, oh shit, I closed the lyrics. Because he sounds a lot like Tillian, in a way. Like, I thought it was Tillian just kind of doing a different vocal inflection for a second, but then I took a glance and noticed that there is, in fact, someone else on here. So this appears to be a reuniting, in a way. Got some sick riffs, man. I really like Tillian's backing vocals here. Sounds really nice. I really like the more peaceful moments in this song. Riffs are nice, too. This sounds so nice, dude. Oh. Okay. Okay, so, you know, obviously we got like a broken love kind of song, kind of that idea going on here once again. And, you know, I mean, that's kind of a common thing that keeps recurring every once in a while on here. And, I really like when John's lyrics are ridiculous and stupid and crazy, but they can still have some meaning derived from them. I bit her and love came on gushing out. Like, you know, I mean, you know what he's saying, I know what he's saying, but it still sounds absolutely absurd. So I do really like that. I enjoy that a lot, and I also did enjoy the guest vocals from the old singer. So, you know, maybe this was the sort of thing where they were kind of proving that there's no bad blood there. I don't really know. I don't know the Dance Gavin dance lore, okay? It's just, I know that there was an old singer before, and like I said, yeah, I can see how Tillian was the replacement because they do sound vaguely similar in their general tone, I guess. And it does almost make me want to check out those older projects even more because I actually really liked his vocals on that track. They sounded really nice on there, so, you know, I'm intrigued. Slouch is the name of the next song. Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's a bass line, man. Ooh, that vocal performance is heated, man. Pierce the Veil reference? I used to be an emo kid. Just ascending over the mix. What a beautiful voice. That is delicious. There we go. Let's go. Someone find me a time machine so I can go back to like 2017 and see them like 5 times. God, dude, this is way too fun to just exist. It's just, there's so much energy here, man. It hits good too. Like you've completely revitalized my interest. I was around Count Bassy there. That was you know, we were kind of hitting a low, but I feel like it has just completely regained my attention to the fullest of extents that you could possibly do so. And that song had some lyrical content that was down to earth and very grounded as well, talking about, you know, being too lazy and not being able to achieve what you want to achieve because you're slouching, man. You're slouching. Jesus Christ, I look white in this. Holy shit. Like tanning. You don't get to do that if you're slouching. Story of My Bros is the name of the next song. Coming in with the riffs. I hear ya. Let's go. The lyrics on here are actually like real, man. You know? See that's ridiculous, but I know what he's saying. I could really do without that. Just give me instrumentals rather than ad-libbing all over it. This... Yes! Yes, this. 100%. I feel you. It's stupid, but I feel you. Okay, here I'll take the backing vocals. This is rad. Hell yeah. Somebody writes in the comments here, this new A Day to Remember song is very experimental. I love it. Yeah, you could put it like that, I suppose. Yeah, like I said, a lot of times in there, it's kind of taking that absurdist realism tone with things where it's like, yeah, this is real life. This does make sense. And what you're saying here, if you look at it in a slightly less than literal sense, all adds up. So that's kind of nice, and I do appreciate the fact that it just isn't all completely going over my head and I'll feel like I need to sit here and study John Mess's fucking mess in order to understand any of the lyrical content, because don't get me wrong, this shit's fun too. Like, there's some absolutely insane moments on some other Dance Gavin Dance records that I've really enjoyed, but I am liking the fact that a lot of this that he's doing on here, like, they're taking a more serious tone with it, but they're not entirely taking themselves seriously to the point where, you know, like, it's still kind of funny, but it actually makes sense and means something. Like I said, I wasn't really a big fan of the whole whoa kind of vocals. That shit always annoys me. I mean, I feel like I've complained about it in like everything that I've heard it on, but you know, at this point my argument against it is kind of getting cold. But seriously, just if you're gonna fill space with that, I would much rather just hear the instruments and the instruments alone, and I'd be much happier about that. But it's little gripes here, and that's, you know, I mean, if that's the worst thing I can come up with to say bad about it, then, you know, we're doing pretty solid. Hair Song is the name of the next song. Hairs on my head. Very sunny sound of this one. Wow. Slowing it down a little, okay. Okay. No one above me, all my faithful children. Nice. Alright, that's a banger. Good stuff. Good track. Can't knock it. Enjoyed it. The Hair Song kind of concept seems to be kind of clever with that, honestly, and a lot of that seems to do with like some of the sayings that come along with hair, like let your hair down and get out of my hair. And like, while neither of those sayings were directly said, it seems like there was kind of like references alluding to it. And, you know, maybe I totally have the wrong idea, but I do like the concept one way or the other. I think it was kind of fun. That's just a fun song. Decent to listen to. It, of course, had the duality of very light sounding and very intense sounding that they tend to do. Nothing entirely new for them sonically or anything, but, you know, still a fun track. Gospel Burnout. They sure say that. Oh, this is going to be about, like, worshiping celebrities. Okay. That's rather poetic. I do really dig it every time they bring Kelly in and backing vocals. I like that quote, honestly. Keep your eyes closed if you're ever I will. Stand for something. We're shutted. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, so I guess I was kind of wrong in my initial prediction after hearing, like, literally 3 lines, so I guess, you know, that is to be expected in that sort of situation, but this song more so seemed to be about standing up for what you believe in and sticking to that despite outside influences, despite things that are going to discourage you to, you know, follow your goals, follow your beliefs and things along that line. Definitely seemed more like the point of this one, I guess. And yeah, it was really typical for their sound, I guess. It did have some nice riffs and whatnot. But, you know, I do find listening to Dance Gavin Dance albums, especially when they're longer like this, that it's like, you know, I mean, this is kind of like eating a lot of sugar. Just at some point it gets a little sickeningly sweet. I did still appreciate that song, but I feel like I'd appreciate it a lot more outside of the context of an album, if that makes any sense. I think Afterburner was quite a bit shorter. I'm actually going to check that real fast. That was 48 minutes, I mean, but, you know, I think maybe that's kind of our, like, golden mark for that sort of thing. I realize it's only 3 minutes less, but I don't know, man. 2 more songs is like, better do something real interesting on these, because I am kind of spaced out. Okay. Hopping right into it. This is what I mean, man. Just keep me interested. Trying to just vibe with the music, man. See, kind of goofy, but you're eating the popcorn because you're watching the show. Sounds fucking epic, dude. Alright, that one was pretty killer, I gotta say. Okay, yeah, definitely a track about just really not liking someone, and we all got that person we don't like. So, I feel you. This is a good track. Definitely some kind of bonkers lyrics that still mean something every once in a while in there. That's fun. It's a good time. But what was really fun is how this song sounded, because it sounded just pretty relentless, okay? You know, I mean, you gotta give it that. I mean, this just kept picking up, kept sounding bigger and bigger. You know, I mean, it's still... It's not as experimental as it should be, okay? You know, they clearly have the potential to do something much more groundbreaking. But it's really fun, and I can see why they're kind of keeping it simple and base level, because, you know, there's still going to be a lot more mass appeal that way, and it's a little bit more fun, I guess, to kind of go with the regular trend. But still sounded pretty unique for what it is. Honestly, that's probably one of my favorites, so... You know, I mean, it's got me excited to hear the last one, so that's better than I was doing. Evaporate is the name of our closing cut, and it's also, yeah, it's the longest one here, by a little bit. Very edgy riffs. Well, this is weird. The juxtaposition here is almost a little too much. Okay, Andrew Wells did some vocals on here, sounded pretty decent. He is from another band I haven't heard of called Idola. I feel like I need to be educated after the 2 guest features on here that I didn't recognize. He does sound pretty nice here, I gotta say, he really fits in. Okay, so, I almost feel unqualified to talk about this one because I am realizing from annotations, and both just because some things sounded like vaguely familiar, that there are multiple references to their older music on here, and I think that it would have made it hit a lot harder if I realized what exactly was going on in there. So, I mean, this song just kind of seemed like regular, typical Dance Gavin Dance to me, but I realized that if you're a huge fan of the band and knew their older works a little bit better than I have, that probably would make a lot more sense. And be a little bit more impactful. But I do think that song sounded really nice, and apparently Andrew Wells is also their touring guitarist, or, you know, like just a touring member of the band, and he also is in that other band that we talked about before. So, you know, he is pretty much just like an ingrained part of the band. It's just that usually he isn't actually playing on any other stuff or featured on it at all. But, you know, that was fun. He sounded pretty good on here, you know, decent. Good stuff. All things considered, this might be my least favorite out of the 3 projects that I've heard from them, just because a lot of moments on here, I liked some of the self-serious moments on here that, you know, just had that extra little bit of charm to it, but I feel like there were some moments where they did fall into sounding a little bit generic, and that is the number one thing that I would, you know, want this band to avoid, because that is the thing that makes them somewhat enjoyable, is the fact that they go a little bit more ambitious, experimental, kind of just outrageous sometimes with the music that they're creating, and I think that's always makes it a lot more fun and makes it a lot more enjoyable to hear Dance Gavin Dance music, because, you know, they are just kind of off the wall insane with most of the shit that they put out. And you know, when we get tracks on here that just kind of almost entirely take themselves seriously, sometimes even other than just like 1 or 2 lines at the end that are just completely ridiculous, it comes across way stale, way more stale than it should come across, and that's just kind of a shame. That's somewhat unfortunate, but I guess that's just kind of the way it goes sometimes. And you know, I mean, there's only so much you can do about that. I think that this had some of my favorite songs that I've heard from them on here as well. You know, you did get me staying interested for the most part for the entire 51 minutes, and that is somewhat impressive, you know, that it managed to hold any part of my attention span, being, you know, if I went and listened to any of the other regular post-hardcore bands or metalcore bands for a 51-minute long album, I feel like I would be just dead bored by the end of it. So it is great that they managed to captivate the audience enough to, you know, kind of bear with them for a longer listen like this. So, you know, I do definitely appreciate that much about this record in particular. It's just that this had stale moments. It really had stale moments that I wouldn't ever want to really return to, but it had a lot of moments that I liked a lot too. There was a lot kind of in between there, and that isn't really something that I would necessarily revisit either. There's a lot of stuff on here that I wouldn't really turn on specifically, but I definitely wouldn't mind it if it's on, you know? And I do think that this is a fun record. I certainly wouldn't ever be opposed to just turning this on as like a background album when you're not specifically focusing on music. That's never a bad idea. I think that there's a lot of good stuff on here, a lot of really compelling stuff on here, and just a lot of stuff that's fun. Just kind of vibe out to. With all that being said, though, guess I'm feeling like, you know, 6+ out of 10 on here probably, I think seems fair. But that's how I'm feeling about it. With all that being said, drop a like on the video if you did like what you saw today, and subscribe to the channel for more music related content coming your way. Turn on the bell notifications for that same reason as well. I have a Twitter, you can follow that in the description below. And once again, let me know if you want me to check out any of their other albums in the future. But that is just about going to wrap it up for this one, and I will see you in the next video.